Hi everyone, in this video I wanted to share my experience of using different e-commerce systems and hopefully help you to make the best decision for you and your business or side hustle or whatever it might be. To give you a bit of background, I ran a successful Magento e-commerce site for several years, and when that reached end of life and was moving from version 1 to version 2, I decided I needed to review all of the different e-commerce platforms that were out there to find out which one was going to be the best fit. And the three that I ended up using and have used to run successful e-commerce sites since have been Shopify, WooCommerce and Zoho Commerce. Now first there's Shopify, and this is probably the biggest and most well-known player in this world of turnkey e-commerce solutions, but there's definitely a few considerations that you need to think about before you head down that route. Firstly, there's the cost, and I don't just mean the $30 a month that you're going to spend actually paying for the system, but also you have to consider the cut that they take on every single transaction, which is relatively high and will stay in place even if you use a third-party solution like PayPal or Stripe. Then you've also got to consider if you want to change the theme, perhaps have something custom, buy something from their marketplace, and those can cost anything up to $200 or more. But okay, let's say you've got some capital and you just want to get something set up as quickly and as easily as possible. That's fine. Except that where Shopify, in my experience, really kicks you in the teeth is eventually you're going to want it to do something that isn't particularly standard. Like, for example, you might want to have some particular shipping options you need to provide, or membership subscriptions, or provide variants of different product options. And so you're going to have to delve into Shopify's app marketplace to try and find an add-on that's going to provide you with that functionality. And in my experience, it's A, pretty hard to find something that does what you want it to do, and B, they can be quite expensive. You can end up very easily spending as much or even more on add-ons for Shopify as you do paying for Shopify itself. So pro tip before you start, think of all the functionality that you could possibly need in your site, even a year or two down the line. And if possible, try and get it completely set up during the 14-day trial that Shopify offer you. That way you can make sure that the standard functionality is going to work, and if you need any add-ons then you can scope them out as well. Now that being said, if you're simply after the easiest solution on the market, then you can't go too far wrong with Shopify. Secondly, there's WooCommerce. And this is the option to go for if you really don't want to spend any money, because it's free. Really the only thing you have to pay for with WooCommerce is your domain name and a hosting package. And most hosting providers out there will offer a massively discounted rate for your first year as a sort of introductory offer. And so you can find that you'll spend as much on WooCommerce in a year as you would with Shopify in just 1 month. The main question, of course, is it as easy? And no, it isn't. WooCommerce has a lot more customizability out of the box, a lot more functionality. That of course means there's going to be more to learn. Also, unless you're really looking to save your money, I would recommend getting some managed hosting, because you're going to want to make sure that your site is as secure as possible. WooCommerce is an extension of WordPress, which is one of the biggest hosting platforms out there, but that also means it's one of the most targeted by hackers, so you're going to want to really make sure that your site is secure and safe, and managed hosting will go a long way to making sure that's the case. Now, if you're interested in using WooCommerce, then leave a comment below and I'll link to some of my favorite hosting packages depending on your budget and what it is that you're looking to achieve. Now finally, and this is my personal favorite, you can use Zoho Commerce. Now Zoho Commerce is relatively new to the market, but in my time using it over the past year, I've been really impressed with its flexibility and functionality. It's kind of like a perfect blend between WooCommerce and Shopify. As part of it, you get the standard site builder that you do with Zoho sites, which is a very mature product, and that allows you to create information pages, product about pages, information about your company, run a blog, and that all integrates nicely with the items that you're actually trying to sell. Now, in terms of features, because Zoho isn't looking to run an app marketplace like Shopify, you actually get a lot of features standard out of the box, far more than I think you do with the bog standard version of Shopify. And in my time using Zoho Commerce over the past year, they've added a lot of really good new functionality as well, which bodes well for the future and the development of the platform. Now, the standard version of Zoho Commerce is a good $120 cheaper than Shopify per year. And for your first $800 a month of revenue every month, they won't charge you any additional transaction fees on top of what you're losing to a payment provider like Stripe or PayPal. Also, another pro tip, it's always worth asking for a discount. That goes for pretty much any software vendor out there. Most that I've dealt with will at least give you their quoted annual pricing, but allow you to pay that over the 12 months, contrary to what they advertise on their website. It's always worth asking the question at least. Now, just one last point on Zoho Commerce, and this feeds back to my previous video I've made on Zoho One, is the nice thing about it is its integration with the rest of the Zoho suite. Meaning that although you have to pay for it separately to Zoho One, if you are wanting to use the books or the CRM or inventory or run campaigns, then all of the different modules work very nicely together, and it allows you to very quickly have what appears to everybody as a very professional setup very quickly. Now, if you found this review helpful, please do give a like and comment below, especially if you've used any other e-commerce systems that I haven't mentioned here, like BigCommerce or Wix or Squarespace. I'd love to hear your thoughts on those or any of the ones I've mentioned, and please do subscribe for videos coming out in the near future.